The Hangman by Maurice Odgen. Into our town the hangman came, smelling of gold and blood and flame. And he paced our bricks with a different air, and built his frame on the courthouse square. The scaffold stood by the courthouse side, only as wide as the door was wide, a frame as tall, or a little more, than the capping sill on the courthouse door. And we wondered, whenever we had the time, who the criminal and what the crime. The hangman judged with the yellow twist of knotted hemp in his busy fist. And innocent though we were with dread, we passed those eyes of buckshot lead. That one spoke. "Hangman, who is he for whom you raised the gallows tree?" Then a twinkle grew in his buckshot eye, and he gave us a riddle instead of a reply.
"He who serves me best," said he, "shall earn the rope on the gallows tree."
And he stepped down and laid his hands on a man who came from another land. And we breathed again, for another's grief. At the hangman's hand was our relief. And the gallows frame by the courthouse lawn, by tomorrow's sun, would be struck and gone. So we gave him way, and no one spoke, out of respect for his hangman's cloak. The next day's sun looked mildly down on roof and street and our quiet town, and stark and black in the morning air, the gallows tree on the courthouse square. The hangman stood at his usual stand, with the yellow hemp in his busy hand, his buckshot eye and jaw like a pike, and his air so knowing, almost businesslike. And we cried, "Hangman, have you not done yesterday with the alien one?" Then we fell silent and stood amazed.
"Oh, not for him was the gallows raised."
He laughed a laugh and looked at us.
"Did you think I'd gone to all this fuss to hang one man? That's just a thing I do to stretch the rope when the rope is new."
Then one cried, "Murderer!" One cried, "Shame!" And into our midst the hangman came, to that man's place.
"Do you hold?"
said he.
"With him that was meet for the gallows tree."
And he laid his hands on that one's arm, and we shrank back in quick alarm. And we just gave him way, and no one spoke, out of fear for his hangman's cloak. That night we saw with dread surprise, the hangman's scaffold had grown in size, fed by the blood beneath the chute. The gallows tree had taken roots, now as wide or a little more than the steps that led to the courthouse door, as tall as the writing or a little more, halfway up on the courthouse door. The third he took, we had all heard tell, was a usurer and an infidel, and—
"What,"
said the hangman,
"have you to do with the gallows bound, and he a Jew?"
And we cried out, "Is this the one he who has served you well and faithfully?" The hangman smiled.
"It's a clever scheme to try the strength of the gallows beam."
The fourth man's dark and accusing song had scratched our comfort hard and long, and—
"What concern,"
he gave us back,
"have you for the doomed and black?"
The fifth, the sixth, and we cried again, "Hangman, is this the man?"
"It's a trick," he said, "that we hangmen know, for easing the trap spring slow.
And so we ceased and asked no more, as the hangman tallied his bloody score, and sun by sun and night by night, the gallows tree grew to monstrous height. The wings of the scaffold opened wide till they covered the square from side to side, and the monster crossbeam looking down cast its shadow across the town. Then through the town the hangman came, and called in the empty streets my name. And I looked at the gallows soaring tall, and thought, there is no one left at all for hanging, and so he calls me to help him pull down the gallows tree. And I went out with right good hope to the hangman's tree and the hangman's rope. He smiled at me as I came down to the courthouse square through the silent town, and supple and stretched in his busy hand was the yellow twist of the hempen strand. He whistled his tune as he tried to trap, and it sprang down with a ready snap. Then with a smile of awful command, he laid his hand on my hand. "You tricked me, hangman," I shouted then, "that your scaffold was built for other men. And I'm no henchman of yours," I cried. "You lied to me, hangman, foully lied." Then a twinkle grew in the buckshot's eye.
"Lied to you? Tricked you?"
he said.
"Not I, for I answered straight. I told you true. The scaffold was raised for none but you. For who has served me more faithfully than you with your coward's hope?" said he. "And where are the others that might have stood by your side in the common good?"
"Dead," I whispered.
"And amiably murdered,"
the hangman corrected me.
"First the alien, then the Jew. I have done no more than you let me do."
Beneath the beam that blocked the sky, none had stood so alone as I. The hangman strapped me, and no voice there cried, "Stay," in the courthouse square. Hey everyone, Muhammad here. If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for watching and listening. If you'd like for me to do more of these videos, and likewise, if there are other stories that you'd like for me to read, then by all means, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you also like this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. That would be much appreciated.